Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and this is Lunar Living. So, if you haven't seen any of these videos for a while, don't be alarmed. I had taken a step back, especially right around the eclipses, and in particular, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. That just kind of rocked my entire world. I don't know how many of you guys felt it, but I was blessed enough to be able to stand underneath it and actually see as the moon went red and really, really feel those energies. And it really, the only way I know how to describe it is it just completely and utterly rocked my emotional body. So, with that being said, we are back, and we're going to be talking about the new moon in Gemini, which is falling on, for most people, I believe, I've been gone for that long, May 30th. I did check for Central Daylight Time, and it hits at 6:30 in the morning for the actual pinnacle moment of the new moon. So depending on where your time zone is, you can calculate from there when it'll hit. But this new moon in Gemini, so the first thing is I woke up this morning and the message that I got is I had "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman. And I full disclosure here, I've never actually seen The Greatest Showman. However, my kids are incredibly offended by the fact that I haven't seen it, so it is on my to watch list for the weekend. But the song was going through my head, and I think that I've heard it maybe once before. I want to say that one of my daughters had it as a choir song this past fall. So I genuinely had to Google the lyrics of the words that were going through my head, and that's what popped up. The reason why this makes me kind of giggle is because as I was breaking down the energy of this new moon, I was really quite resistant to even doing another Lunar Living video at this point. And the reason why I've been so resistant is because the moon energy has been really very dominant in my life. It's been really quite stressful for me. And so I wasn't sure whether I wanted to continue doing this series, just full disclosure. However, when your heart is connected to something, it's a part of who you are. And the essence of this entire series is because it's part of who I am. And one of the lessons that I have been learning is to no longer doubt the pieces of me that I normally would have in the past. And that is really what this new moon in Gemini is calling for us to look at. So Gemini, as most of you may know or do know, is the sign of the twins, and you can see that here with the constellation. And it's usually ascribed to Castor and Pollux, which are the two most dominant or most prominent stars within the zodiac sign and within the sky. It's also associated with Romulus and Remus, who established Rome in Roman mythology. But the story of the twins is that their parentage wasn't known. There's the theory that one of them was fathered by Zeus and the other was fathered by a mortal, and so it really did create two twins who were very different people. What this means for us is during this new moon in Gemini, it's giving us an opportunity to connect to our ability to shapeshift, our ability to be different, to be more than just one thing, but to embrace all the different pieces of who we are and to accept all the different pieces of who we are, regardless of what history says or our family says or religion says or society says, but to really pull all the pieces of who we are, no matter how dualistic it seems, and to embrace all of us, all of ourselves. Every new moon is an opportunity to receive energy and messages and wisdom and understanding for a new beginning, a new start, a new perspective. However you want to view this new thing. I think we overuse new beginnings a lot, and when we use this new beginnings all the time, it can kind of seem as though nothing ever finishes, nothing ever progresses, because we're always starting something new. But sometimes it's just about a new outlook on one small aspect of life. It doesn't always have to be that large. Sometimes it is just literally like, okay, I'm doing this in my life, and moving forward, I want to have less self-doubt. I want to have less self-sabotage. I want to have less fear. I want to have less worry, less stress. That's a new beginning. That's you embracing a new beginning. And the biggest factor with this Gemini new moon is we are still in a Mercury retrograde, which means that Mercury retrograde is ruling this new moon. And when we look at that, the biggest factor that I saw was Venusian energy, which is so dominant, and it really has been in the charts since it went retrograde back into the pre-shadow retrograde phase back in November of 2021 and into retrograde in December. Ever since then, Venus and her energy in the cosmos moving through the collective have been it's just been so dominant. And the more that I have looked at the future retrograde patterns and cycles, the more I see that her energy really is going to continue being dominant. And that's because there is this collective calling to get in touch with what we value, get in touch with what we put purpose and worth and our sense of self-worth, self-esteem, self-value into. What are our core values within? And the reason why this is so important during this new moon is because Venus is actually ruling that Mercury, because Mercury has already shifted back into Taurus. So when Mercury is in retrograde, the communication patterns that we have, technology, being able to have a cohesive conversation oftentimes struggles a lot. That's because we are as close to Mercury, and Mercury moves in a dramatically different way than the Earth. It communicates differently. It asks us to evaluate our communication style. It asks us to learn how to communicate with ourselves a lot differently, how to move from a place of the heart, how to communicate with spirit, how to learn different communication methods. And I emailed a friend of mine this morning, in fact, talking about this out of the norm communication method that Spirit has been teaching me over the past few weeks. Not even few weeks, just a couple of weeks, since shortly before Mercury went retrograde. And I know that if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have talked about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And that is something that I normally would not engage in. I don't engage in Hollywood stuff or social media stuff a whole lot. I really don't get involved in that stuff hardly ever. So when this started randomly showing up in my suggested videos, it caught me completely off guard when it was something that I couldn't seem to look away from, and I couldn't understand why. I have multiple journal entries where I was like, Spirit, what is going on? Why am I feeling so pulled to this, so called to this? And without going into too much detail, because it was a very personal thing, Spirit did lead me down a path to help me understand why this was so personal to me, why I needed to watch this, why I needed to learn that this is a new communication style between me and my guides, between me and Spirit, between me and the universe, because I was being taught a valuable lesson about my own personal perspective on truth and beauty and justice and speaking truths and just really the world in general. And it was very profound. The energy of this new moon is very individually focused right now. While there's a great need and a call for heightened awareness of, Mars and Jupiter in Aries, the first house, those two energies can potentially create an illusion because our ego can become unbalanced. So that's where this Mercury energy really underneath Venus is asking us to look at our internal values before we move externally to fight in the external world for our ambitions, our drive, our determination, what it is that we want, and expanding upon our dreams. There is that internal calling, and a big, big calling that I've felt so prominently about how we communicate with ourselves. What truths do we hold to within ourselves, and what truths are right for us? Which ones actually match our values? If we say that we value truth and honesty, then are we being true and honest with ourselves? Are we being true and honest with the people in our lives? These are important internal questions that this moon is helping bring out, helping to bring into our awareness, because it's been shrouded in the darkness, and the new moon energy is all very divine feminine energy. Some of the key factors that Spirit wanted me to mention is about music. And again, this is me from The Greatest Showman showed up. And that is a song. So music may be prominent during this time. You may feel more called to listen to music, or you may feel as though whatever song that you listen to just is singing directly to your heart, directly to your soul. It's telling you something. It's speaking a truth to you. It's opening something up within your emotional body and your mental body that you didn't think would before. There's also a call to listen to the silence. Listen to the pauses. Listen to what is not being spoken. Listen to the movement of someone's body, the wind in the trees, and the animals, the insects, the creatures, the flowers, the flora, essentially, that you come into contact with. I know for me, I have been seeing a blue jay on repeat. I mean, I had one knock on my window, on my kitchen window a few weeks back, and then I saw it knocking on another window, and then there was somebody at the store who randomly picked up a tiny little finger puppet of a blue jay. It was very, very unusual because I have never seen that out in the stores before. A stuffed blue jay or a finger puppet blue jay. And then even just down to yesterday, as I'm driving down my road and I come to a stop sign, there is a blue jay sitting on the stop sign. Those kind of occurrences, you're being asked to take notice of those occurrences. To obviously, like, there's that pull to do research. And I say obviously, and I think that almost sounded judgmental, and I apologize because I'm a life past 7, so my natural instinct is to research what that means. But you may have this unusual feeling like, maybe I should figure out what this means. Remember to take everything with your own personal discernment, and then ask Spirit directly. Ask your heart directly. Ask your inner self, your inner voice, your inner child, your inner soul. Ask yourself directly. Ask your higher self directly. What does this mean in the context of my life? What does this mean for me? What are you trying to tell me? And allow yourself to just be open to whatever messages come through. The other biggest factor, or the biggest energy, the biggest message that I got is, and it was, again, because I want to say this is because of Mercury retrograde, but there have been these messages that I can't quite fully get the essence of. I know with Neptune in Pisces, and especially with Neptune in Pisces being a solitary ruler, we've got Neptune, Pisces, the 12th house, and that's just kind of on its own within the charts, infused everywhere, wherever it interacts. And it is actually moving with ease with Mercury right now. So that can make it hard to kind of put your finger on what the messages are, what the meanings are. Some of the meanings just might not feel right. It's not about, to me, Neptune is not about illusions, but about uncovering the illusions. Everybody interprets everything in their own way. Use your own discernment on this. But there was an energy of something that had to do with a reawakening of dreams and desires from the past that you may have held yourself back from. Whether or not it's still a dream for you, it's really important to take some time to reflect on it, to get in touch with your intuition on it, and either plant the seeds of self-worth within your heart, within your soul, within your mind, for an awakening of your creative and or psychic gifts and talents to aid you on your path forward. Or it's time to release these dreams from the past that just don't have a place in who you are and what you envision for your life anymore, to release them and make sure or consider giving gratitude for the dreams, for the time that you spent together with those dreams, and plant seeds for new dreams to take root within you. The reason why the releasing these old dreams, it feels so important, is because sometimes we hold on to these dreams that we thought of, and it can build into regret. And we are moving into a time and a day and an age where regrets are going to hold us back. Spirit and the cosmos especially, the astrological charts especially right now, and for a while, are asking us to really get in touch with our own internal selves, to really truly learn how to value ourselves and see our place in the world and value our place in the world. When we hold on to things from the past that don't fit, it's like trying to, I'm hearing square peg in round hole. It just doesn't fit anymore. It doesn't mean it was ever wrong for you, and it doesn't mean that it won't come back around. It could come back around in a completely different form, in a completely different way, and you won't notice it because you're still holding on to the way that you had perceived it to be before. So take some time during this new moon to think about it, to reflect on it. Allow yourself the freedom and the time and the ability to just reflect on what's right for you and the pieces of who you are, and see how beautiful, how amazing, how handsome, how incredible, how compassionate, how empathetic, how strong and resilient and courageous you really are. Because overcoming the things that we overcome in this life and that you have overcome in this life, it's no small feat. And the pieces of you, even the ones that are hard to look at, the ones that you may feel shame or guilt surrounding, those pieces are there and they're a part of who you are, and that makes them beautiful, that makes them amazing, that makes them incredible. No part of who we are is ever meant to be a point of shame. And if we feel that way about a part of ourselves, that's just helping us see a piece that needs healing, a piece that needs love, a piece that needs compassion. And especially with Gemini energy is giving us the opportunity to embrace the dualistic nature of everything, to be divinely masculine feminines, to be divinely feminine masculines, to be an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, to embrace all the aspects of the duality within the world, but also within ourselves, and know that each and every piece is made to be loved and meant to be loved and worthy of love, and to value everything that you are, because everything that you are has gotten you here. Okay, so that is the channeled collective astro energy update. We're going to move into the signs. We're going to go in order: fire, earth, air, water, as always, and pull some messages. I am going to be working with the Wild Unknown decks, the archetype, the tarot, and the spirit animals, because those are the decks that I always feel so called to with inner journeys. And we're going to see what specifically this moon is asking you to see. I don't know what the messages are going to be. I'm leaving it as an open forum. I want to encourage you to take a look at your sun, your moon, and your rising. And yeah, those are the prominent, the most personal placements. So check those out. All the times will be down in the description box. Before we head off into the individual element energy messages, I do want to say I hit 50 subscribers today. I jumped for joy. I hugged my daughter. We both were in tears. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has come out to support my channel, to subscribe to it, to receive these messages, and to support me on this journey, because it has not been an easy one for me. And sorry, I am so grateful for the love. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to collect myself, and I will see you at your element piles. I love you guys. Bye. Hello, fire signs. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you for being here. Secondly, if you can hear noise in the background, I do apologize. My husband is mowing the lawn. We've had a lot of rain and our grass is growing at an outrageously fast pace. So if you can hear the mower, I do apologize for that. So we are going to get right into it and find out what messages you need for this new moon in Gemini. Spirit, can we get messages for fire signs for the new moon in Gemini? Okay. Well, we've got a lot of cup energy. We've got 9 of cups, 5 of cups, 4 of cups. Spirit, what else do we have for fire signs? Okay. And then the sun. I love that. And on the back, we have the Mother of Cups. So I'm just going to set this one over here. And we're going to get all of the cards first, and then we'll get your message. Okay. Okay, Spirit, can we get animal spirits for the fire signs? Wow, those just jumped really fast. Okay. And so we've got the hyena, the hawk, and the spider, and then on the back we have the snake. Somehow I am not surprised to see that snake with the Mother of Cups. All right, and let's get some archetype energy. Okay. The animal. Do we have anything else for? Yep. Okay. And the comic. And on the back, we have the kiss. I'm going to actually have to pull the book, because as much as I have worked with this, I have not come across the kiss card. That's interesting. So we'll deal with that last. But first of all, fire signs. I can see that there's this very, very strong desire to break yourself free. Internal emotional energy is what I'm really picking up with the 5 and the 4 of Cups. And if you are new to my channel, I always say that the 4 of Cups is the saddest cup card to me. In this deck in particular, because it incorporates the animals with it, this 4 of Cups with the rat on top, it almost feels as though there's this sense of being robbed. Something was taken. It feels as though you are perceiving something as being taken from you, or something. It's going to be different for everybody. Kind of came in and buried something for you or from you. There's just this kind of essence. It almost gives me a 7 of Swords energy, like some sort of deceit, something. But I can't necessarily tell whether this is self-deceit, because with this 5 of Cups, there's a horse, as you can see on the card, and it is very, very sad. It's almost a defeated energy. And for horses, the association is usually forward action, forward movement, forward progress. You may be going through a phase in which your entire focus has been on seeing dreams come true, achieving something, getting beyond something. And it feels almost as though moving forward, you get knocked back. Moving forward, you get knocked back. And as you get knocked back, there's this energy of something from the past. And it's like it gnaws at you. There's this gnawing energy. And Spirit is showing me right now that it's like a whole bunch of little rats just kind of gnawing away. But what you don't realize is if you take a step back and you look at what's being gnawed away, you're not in a pause spot for no reason. It's as though you got tangled up in something, whether that's energetically or you were tangled up in some sort of situation, belief system, mentality, whatever it is. It has slowed your progress because you needed to have that progress slowed, because this is what is coming out of your internal energy, and it's helping to release these things, because what's coming at you from all angles in the outside world is quite literally joy and happiness and illumination and this bright, shining, dreams come true moment. But it's really, really difficult to see these things when your internal energy is in such a state of chaos. I am struck here by the fact that we've got the hyena and the comic, and they both really speak to finding a way to laugh through everything that occurs in life, finding a way to get in touch with the humor and the lightness of this life that we're living, because the spiritual journey can be very heavy. The life that we live can be very heavy. The world that we live in and the energies in the world can be really very heavy. If you can find a way to release that laughter, to get in touch with your more natural essence, and that's what I'm getting from the animal, is it's almost giving me a wolf vibe, like a lone wolf vibe. It's okay if you have to do something alone. It's okay if you have to move forward feeling as though you're doing it alone, because you're not actually alone. It's you learning how to step up and step into being who you are. And moving forward, it's kind of like you're being shown a path forward into leadership in some aspect of your life. And again, I want to remind you guys that a lot of the energies feels so kind of hard to touch. And especially fire energy, especially within the charts, there's just all the fire energy within the chart is just surrounded by a lot of oppositional energies, I think is the best way to describe it. It's like you're being pulled all over the place and you just want to be back in your own energy. You want to be back in your own power. And through this new moon, what I'm seeing is if you can find time to watch something that makes you laugh, listen to something that makes you laugh, even just like watching a comedy show or seeing the humor in something that you wouldn't normally see, it's going to give you a higher perspective of what it is that has been going on, so that you can see that nothing has ever been done in vain at all right now. The spider energy is so prominent in all of this. It is actually the most prominent energy I'm feeling. Is everything emotionally is blocking you from being able to see what it is that has been going on in your life, and that's that your emotions are being challenged over and over and over and over again, and every single time they get challenged, you come out shining. Every single time you come out shining, you come out brighter, you come out bolder. And as you do that, you get a higher perspective, but you're still weaving the web of your life. And spider silk is some of the strongest material in the world. What you're building is something that will not be torn down. I'm hearing that quote. I always forget who it's from. I could Google it, but it's "Don't take life too seriously. You won't get out alive." I can't remember who says it. I knew it. I looked it up. It's in one of my books even, but it's just kind of lost on me right now. And that's kind of where your energy is right now, and especially through this new moon, it's helping you alleviate all of these past sadnesses, these past trials, these past moments of something was taken from you, or someone deceived you, or you deceived yourself. It's helping you realize who you are and what your strength is. And that goes to this energy that you're not fully aware of yet. As you work through all of this, as you continue building what you're building in your life, you're going through this transformational process. You're getting in touch with the essence of who you are. And it's understanding that you've begun anew every single time, even when you don't realize that you have gone through an ending and a new beginning, you still do it. And you shed your skin and you become the newest version of who you are, but it's not really a new you, it's just a truer version of who you are. The Mother of Cups is deeply intuitive. She is aware of her emotions. She is aware of other people's emotions, and she's aware of the patterns of life. And this new moon time, when you take that time to reflect on all of this energy, on all of the things that have been happening, on all of this, but you give yourself that comedic release, that moment to just giggle, to just laugh at something silly, at something foolish, no matter what it is, without judging yourself for doing something, without saying I shouldn't be doing this. It's giving you the opportunity to see that you're meant to really be aware of your emotions, but not to be controlled or dominated by them. So I did pull the Kiss card, and it talks about the touch, the chemistry, the sex, okay, I'm just letting spirit kind of pull me because I don't feel like I should be reading it to you guys. Okay, so this is this is about, I understand why. This is not about an intimate connection. This is about a connection with your own inner self and the intimacy that you have with yourself and with the divine. And when you get in touch with that, it's also getting in touch with being more vulnerable with your gifts, with your intuition, with your psychic nature in general. It's like taking off the mask, taking off the persona, and letting yourself be the queen, letting yourself be emotional, letting yourself be true to you, and knowing that there is this deep connection that you have with your own heart and your own soul. Okay. Fire signs, this really felt very disjointed. I did want to mention before I came into the reading, my neck got really, really stiff and really tight. Maybe take some time to work that out. Do like a salt bath or get a massage if you can. Stretch your neck out. There just was a lot of tension in the neck, and that can really block the energy flow in your body. But yeah, I don't know. There's, and I'm a fire rising and moon, and this has been the energy that I've been in a lot, where it's really hard to put your finger on necessarily. But you do have the ability to take a higher perspective here, and you do have the ability to see yourself in a different light and to release those inner emotions that are really weighing you down. And I feel like the number one takeaway here is there's some sort of overhaul within the shadow energy, within your shadow energy going on. It's helping you be more open to connection with yourself, connection with spirit, connection with other people. But don't worry, you're building what you're meant to be building. And it will continue growing because it's meant to. And you will shine like the sun because you're meant to. Fire signs, I hope this resonated. If it did, please go ahead and like this video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want to check out any of my links, book any personal readings, check out my course, you can find those down in the description box. So I want to say thank you one more time for being here with me, for listening to these messages. And thank you so much to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. And thank you to Spirit for allowing me to pass on messages. Thank you. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, Earth signs. So we're going to get directly into it. We're going to find out what messages you have surrounding this Gemini new moon. Now, for you Earth signs especially, your energy throughout the charts is dominant right now. It is taking the front seat instead of the back seat. And that is incredibly prominent. You may feel as though you're kind of getting rocked, though. A lot of questions may be arising, a lot of concerns, and I was getting some pain in my lower back on the left side, so you may be having some difficulty really getting in touch with your divine feminine aspects. And that is a strong indicator to me as I was preparing to do your reading. It's a strong indicator for me that is a major focal point for you for this new moon. So let's find out what the cards say. So we've got the 9 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, and the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is actually Taurus energy So I'm not at all surprised to see this. Like I said, you may feel as though you're really getting rocked, but this is a lot of mental energy. This mental energy, and when you look at this Nine of Swords card especially, it looks very dark. It looks very almost gross. Like, I'm not going to lie. It looks almost gross. But it's kind of like saying, what is your mind doing to you right now? What is your mind telling you? Because is your mind being honest or is it being deceitful? Is your mind covering up the truth of things? Are you stuck in this endless mental loop? Because the truth that you're not quite grasping is your mind can tell you all it wants to say. And our minds are not meant to be our enemies. It's meant to be a focal point for our healing. If we're telling ourselves all of these negative thoughts and these negative beliefs, that's what we're going to see reflected back to us, because that's what we're telling ourselves. You have the ability right now to take a look at the way that you're actually deceiving yourself and the way that the self-deception is creating an illusion of anxiety and mental stress, because there's this sense of dishonesty, whether it's you being dishonest in the outside world or the outside world not seeing something, or it's just simply you don't want to see the truth. The truth of the matter is, and I don't like saying this, but I can't. When I feel it. This lightning bolt feels almost like a tower energy. The Hierophant with the crow and the key is saying that you have all the tools that you need. You have all the tools for the insights and the understanding and the wisdom to unlock what it is that is creating this tumultuous energy within your energy field. And I am caught by this fox. It's one eye is open and then it's closing the other eye. And deception works that way. When we're deceiving ourselves, or we're deceived by others, or we're deceiving others, there's always like one eye is watching to see how the reactions are, and the other eye is closed because you don't want to see it. And this is saying your divine masculine eye is open, but your divine feminine eye is closed. And the divine feminine is asking you to soften yourself, to understand that the key is in balancing these energies. It's in knowing that, for me, the crow is always divine feminine energy. So it's very interesting for me to see it on the Hierophant card, because it usually is represented by the Pope. It's saying that too much movement, too much reaction is not helping you right now. It's time for you to understand what foundations you're building yourself and your life and your beliefs on. What foundations inside your mind you're building it on. And this can be a very subtle, very nuanced energy that you don't quite realize, especially with the Seven of Swords here. It can come up as almost this like background track in your mind that's telling you, well, you have to do it this way or that way or whatever. And it can lead you down this path of self-deception. And at some point, it's time to call it out, call the energy out, call yourself out and say, okay, what are my values? What am I here to do? What am I here to bring forward? But what am I worth? And am I being true to myself? Am I being true to the outside world? There's such a strong self-deception energy here that's creating destruction where destruction doesn't necessarily need to be. All right, we have the starfish. Okay. Spirit, do we have anything else for earth signs? Okay, and the cosmic egg. Okay. With the starfish, I'm drawn to actually what the breakdown of the starfish in the book talks about, and it's about outward appearances. It's about how you present yourself to the outside world, and whether you're presenting this facade to the outside world of, look at me, I'm a star, anything like that. Because if the inside doesn't match the outside, there's going to be this disharmony. There's going to be this Nine of Swords energy, because you're not being true to who you are. Beauty is not skin deep. Beauty goes well beneath the surface, and your own personal beauty goes well beneath the surface. And this is asking you to really get in touch with your own personal beauty, what you perceive to be beautiful, and above and beyond what anything or anyone else says. The cosmic egg is tied directly to the crown chakra. It's tied directly to your connection to spirit, your connection to your higher self, your connection to the cosmos. It's talking about allowing yourself to see what is deep within you instead of what's on the surface, because what's deep within you is this beautiful, beautiful essence. And if you keep playing by the rules of the outside world instead of going within, that's where I feel that tower energy. It's kind of this challenge to you right now. And I really didn't expect that from your energy, because usually earth energy is very grounded and assured. And with all of the Taurus energy, this could be the effect of Uranus being in Taurus right now. This new moon is really highlighting the ways that change needs to occur in your own life, in your own energy field, in your own mind. Because without those changes, you continually stay in this energy and you never actually step into this wisdom and knowledge and understanding and awareness of what your values are and base the future on that. Spirit's really pulling on you to get more connected, to understand the infinite nature of everything and everyone, and as well as the interconnected nature of everything and everyone, and to see beyond the surface of things. So we have the womb. Okay. Yeah, this is, and the temple. This is a lot of deep energy that is really calling to you. I'm drawn to the triangles here, and I know that, this one just signifies water energy, but this triangle is divine feminine, and the temple is divine masculine. And it's about combining these two together to understand that these energies are meant to flow together. They're meant to work together. Right now, there is this huge pull for you to use the energy of this new moon to really get in touch with what divine feminine means to you. What does compassion and empathy and understanding and awareness mean to you? What do you want to bring forth into the world? What pearls of wisdom do you have within you? And in order to access those, Spirit is saying it's time to enter the temple of who you actually are, of your inner self, and get in touch with that, because you have the key now. There's this almost an awakening energy that I'm feeling with this new moon, and that can be kind of destructive at times. With the Hierophant and the womb, you've got a lot of energy asking you to really get yourself on a level where you open yourself up to more, to understanding more, to seeing more, to being aware of more, and to realize that every part of who you are is meant to be honored. Even your mind. It doesn't mean, none of this means that you're not on the right path. It doesn't mean that you're not doing the right thing. It is asking you to really get in touch with what it is that you're saying to yourself. How are you twisting yourself up into knots because you want to be seen in a specific way in the outside world? You want to be seen in a specific way by this person or by that person. How do you see yourself? How do you connect with your higher self? How do you connect with your inner self? How do you connect with spirit? And how do you allow for guidance to happen in your life? Because what I'm seeing here is you really have this ability right now to take a pause, to take a break, because the starfish is not always about just what is on the outside. There's this beautiful essence within the starfish. But too much time, I just heard too much time in the outside world and you get hardened. So if you think about a starfish, if they aren't in water enough, they harden in the sun. It's saying if you are not allowing yourself to be in touch with your divine feminine, in touch with your emotions, you can become hard, you can become rigid. And that's when these swords energies really come and take form, take control. And the Hierophant can be a very firm, very solid energy. But it's asking you to see how to take that and soften it around the edges, soften it to what you can create and what you're here to do. This top row is so black and white, but the world we live in is a world of color. This new moon is bringing into your awareness a means of opening up to color in your life, opening up to the gray area, opening up to different, new, a collaboration, a combination of all of the colors. It's helping you to see everything in a completely new light. It's almost as if a rainstorm comes in and washes everything away, and all of a sudden you look outside and it's like you've never seen the world before and everything is in high definition. This is what this new moon is trying to help awaken within you so that you can get out of this mental strain and mental struggle. It's about your own self-worth and not being so rigid in the way that you do things and the way that you move forward. Earth signs, if this resonated, if this helped at all, please like this video, share it, hit the subscription button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I want to say thank you again for being here. Thank you for hearing these messages. Thank you for continuing to move forward and endure the things that you've been enduring. It has not been easy. I can see that, and I believe in you, and so does Spirit. So I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating this connection, and thank you so much to Spirit for allowing me to share your messages with the collective. And Earth signs, I wish you guys the most illuminative, peaceful new moon, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye. Hello, air signs. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. And yeah, your cards are already flying. So you've got the Judgment card and the Father of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. And the Daughter of Cups. All right. I am letting it come to me. Okay. We're going to pull the Animal Spirit card as well. I apologize if you can hear my dogs barking. Yeah, we've got a lot of chaos going on in my house. With this Judgment card, and the Father of Pentacles especially. This is, if you missed my intro, in the intro there was this energy of dreams of the past coming back. And that is really, really strongly the energy I feel here, especially with the Daughter of Cups coming at the end. It's kind of this energy of Spirit saying it's time for you to call judgment in something in your life. The Father of Pentacles is also the King of Pentacles. He's very stable. He's very secure. He's financially stable. But that doesn't always equate to feeling that sense of joy, that sense of accomplishment, or not even accomplishment. It's more along the lines of, have you been sacrificing something for financial gain? Have you been sacrificing something of yourself for financial gain? And this new moon is really bringing forward to you this energy of, what is it worth? Is it worth this? Can you get in touch with that imaginative, creative, anything and everything is possible energy that you once held, and see that you can release yourself from judgment, whether that's internal judgment or the feeling of judgment of others because of your social status. That one wanted to come out. So we've got Whale. Yeah. This is deeply rooted. This is a deeply rooted sense of needing security, needing stability, and not fully trusting in your dreams. And then we've got the Spider card. Okay, so the Whale card talks about the voice of the ancients. I'm sorry, guys. I know all the cards are just, they don't seem to want to fall nicely today. I'm not sure if it's my camera or what's going on, but the Whale card talks about our ancient ancestors, our ancient roots. It talks about, the whale song and resonance. And when I touch into the Whale card, it's kind of like the songs of the deep, the songs of your soul. What's really deep within you is what is meant to be your founding or your center point for growth, for building in this world. Whatever it is that you've been holding on to, this, whether it's, I wanted to say this fear, so I imagine there's some sort of fear here about doing something that your heart wants you to do versus what is the rational choice. When you move from the heart, you're literally touching into this kind of ancient way of moving in the world. And the Spider talks all about what you build in the world and the beauty of it. This Spider card, the web itself is built with all the colors of the rainbow. This is you aligning everything within yourself so that you can see this beauty reflected outside. And I am again drawn to the reflection here with the Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is really about believing in the impossible. It's about believing in things that just shouldn't happen, shouldn't occur. And if you look at the Father of Pentacles, it's his mind, it's his mentality, it's the horns on top of his head are what he uses as his rainbow. So this is saying, what do you need to do to free yourself from feeling as though you have to live up to a certain standard, and allow yourself the joy and the peace of believing in the impossible. And of course we have the Venom card come out, because that is what we're talking about. The Venom card talks about the poisons of the beliefs and the things that you engage in, the ways that you interact with certain things. And then we've got the Pilgrim. Okay. So, real talk here, air signs. There's something within you that has created an illusion of you needing to be more grounded and stable and solid. And it feels so financial, but it's not feeding your emotions. It's not feeding your heart. It's not feeding into your joy and your happiness. And Spirit really is calling for you to walk away from this, call judgment on it, walk away from it, and take an inner journey. Take this pilgrimage internally. See what it is that is within you. And we've got the Judgment card, which is the card 20, and the Pilgrim card, which is the card 20. So this is a lot of duality being brought together. Two energy, we can look at it as, you know, Gemini with the twins, you've got 2 and 1. To me, this is about the duality within you of what your heart is calling for you to look at, what your heart is saying. Can you see that this isn't impossible? I'm holding this cup. I'm holding this truth. I'm holding this beautiful reflection to you. I am showing you all the possibility. The illusion is that you have to walk a specific path, but it's not about walking that path. It's about how you walk it. It's about how you perceive it, how you believe it's going to occur. It's saying take this trip internally and find out what it is that is feeding into this belief that you are not enough, that your dreams are not enough, that your wishes are not enough, that your voice isn't enough, that people aren't meant to hear what you have to say, what you like. It's the song. I just keep hearing the song. It could be a reference to This Is Me, and maybe that song is something that you really should listen to and take to heart, because this energy of the venom, and it ties, for me, I can feel it tied in with the Father of Pentacles. And I usually don't see the Father of Pentacles as this toxic card, but right now it almost feels toxic. It's like you're too afraid to leap into your dreams because you don't know what your financial life is going to look like. You don't know whether you're going to be grounded and stable. You don't know if people are going to accept that. You don't know it. There's so much of, I don't know. But the more that you sit in that I don't know, the more that you're feeding into the venom of you're not enough, because you can jump and leap. And that's the essence of the Fool energy too. You jump and you leap into the unknown because it's where you're meant to go. And that is what this Pilgrim card feels like. It's this call into yourself, this call into the unknown, this call to do that thing that you want to do, to embrace that thing that you want to do, or who you want to be, or what you want to experience, where you want to go, whatever it is. It's a call for you to just give it a chance, give yourself a chance, give your dreams a chance, because when you begin to weave your dreams into reality, that's when you're really singing that song. That's when you're healing those deep-seated wounds, whether they're from childhood or from ancestral karma or ancestral patterns. And there is this energy of cause and effect. The Judgment card is Pluto, and Pluto is sitting in Capricorn and is in retrograde. So when Pluto is in retrograde, it's literally calling for an internal transformation. And this internal transformation for you guys, for you air signs, is really asking you to transform how you see what you can create in this world that gives you a basis of stability. Wow, that's it. Whoa, I've never had it like shut down that fast. Yeah, that's I'm sorry. I'm hearing Looney Tunes. That's all, folks, in my head right now. So, air signs, it's like the words just kind of left. They flew away. I hope this helps. I truly hope that this gives you that little oomph that you need to move forward. I do want to say thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, please hit the like button, share it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I do want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating this connection. And thank you so much to Spirit for allowing me to share these messages with the collective and with these air signs. Thank you again, air signs. I wish I had more to give you. I'm the kind of person who just wants to feel like it's complete, but I am hoping that it feels complete to you. Or perhaps it's that you need to complete the rest. And you can. So thank you again for being here. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, water signs. So we're just going to jump right in, get going with it, get your messages, find out what the messages for this Gemini new moon for you are. Okay, we've got 1, 2. All right. We get one more card for water signs. Okay. There we go. All right. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, and the Sun of Cups or the Knight of Cups. Okay. Well, water signs, as per usual, you guys have a lot of very powerful energy going on. This is kind of along the same lines as it's always been. But as I was preparing for your pile, something that struck me is I got this urge to start telling you about, how I've been feeling, how things have been going in my life, kind of the energies of the other piles. So you may be going through a phase in which a lot of people are coming to you, and it can almost feel as though people are offloading on you. That's because your energy field is very, very strongly in the empath vibe. But there's this, with the Wheel of Fortune and Temperance, the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter and Temperance is Sagittarius energy. And Jupiter is sitting in Aries right now. So this to me is saying that you've been very patient. There's this essence of you've been very patient. You have been diligently moving forward, trying to get this wheel to turn, trying to understand, where to move, when to move, how to move. And all of it hinges on you moving forward from an energy of a full cup, from a passionate energy, from knowing what you have within you that is of value and presenting that outward. And with the Temperance card, I want to say this is an ibis. I'm pretty sure. And the ibis is a bird that fits into a multitude of different communities of birds. It can mix with many different birds. So temperance is all about alchemy, transmutation, changing from one to the other. And you can even see water and fire mixing here. It's saying that there's this essence of destiny and fate at play right now in your life. And as long as you utilize this new moon to really make sure that you're moving forward from this energy of I know what I have to give, and I know what my worth is, and I know what my value is, and I'm here to show the world how to touch into that for themselves without you over giving, because there is that essence from me getting ready for your pile. There was that essence of there could be this urge to overgive, because when you sit in the empath energy, it's like there's this magnetization for people want to share with you. It's not always a negative thing, but it needs to be done in balance so that you're not taking on too much of other people's energy. So you're not taking on too much, because that can kind of tangle things up for you and your energy. And it puts you into a state of feeling as though you have to go through a transmutation of your own emotions because you're taking on too many other people's emotions. And this new moon is helping you become more versatile, less congested or clouded or tangled up. The tangled up is what I keep getting caught on with the Wheel of Fortune, with the strings that are strung around. They almost look like they're on the verge of being tangled. And I am drawn to the owl now, and with the owl up on top, remember that the owl can turn its head around. It can see behind it. It can see ahead of it. It can turn its head. You know, it's kind of like you can see the directions, but you have to be able to allow yourself to be more aware of where it's coming from rather than always being from internal. It can be coming from the outside with you guys. Which is kind of off kilter from the energy of the new moon, but it can bring up internal energies when you interact with the outside world. And that's not always a bad thing either, because now you can kind of move through those, heal those, transmute those, and realize what it is that you have within you that you have to offer. Okay. We've got the bee and the vulture. Yep. I'm not surprised to see the vulture there. Okay, so the bee is all about, working together, collaborating together, but the bee makes honey. And it's kind of like there's this essence that after this new moon, you're going to be busy. Like I'm hearing busy bee, busy bee. You're going to be a busy bee, which means that this new moon is asking you to really get in touch with the vulture energy. And the vulture energy is one of purification. It's one that asks you to purify your mind, purify your energy. And that would be those entanglements that I kept feeling from others in the outside world, because there is something that you're doing or have been doing or are planning to do that is going to keep you busy. You may be moving into that. But what you're doing is literally creating honey. It's creating something sweet, creating something succulent, something of worth. It's like creating nectar, creating healing, whether that's for just your life or on a bigger scale. That's what you're doing. And that is actually benefited by you allowing yourself to let this new moon energy give you an opportunity to move forward in a purified energy. Wow. I have to say, water signs, I love that your messages are flowing as smoothly as they are. So we have the seed and the bardo. Okay. The seed talks about what you're planting, the core of it. And something about this card, every time I look at it, it gives me something different. When I'm looking at it this time, I'm actually seeing like a tree. If you have to cut down a tree, it has the rings. and they go from bigger into smaller until it's just the core. This is saying that whatever seed you're planting that you're going to be busy and working on, I don't know why I did the extended busy, but maybe it's just the bee energy. It's going to grow and grow and grow, just like the rings of a tree. Over time, it's going to continue to grow. And you may, if it's something that you've already planted, you may already be seeing these seeds. And so this new moon is really just more about you utilizing the vulture energy, utilizing that purification, that cleansing energy to get out of it. So I actually had to look up the Bardo here, and as I'm looking, it talks about spaciousness and grace and forgiveness and truth, but it's also about the transition in the liminal stage. So after you plant a seed, you know that there are things that you have to do to initiate its growth. You have to put the seed into the earth. You have to cover it with the earth. You have to water it. You have to fertilize it. You have to tend to it. You have to care for it. As you do that, you are essentially doing all the work that is in the liminal stage. The more that you give yourself grace for being in the liminal stage and understand that this liminal stage, this in-between phase, is important, because in that you are able to really get a grasp on every aspect of who you are and what you're worth and what you want to do and what your passions are and what you're here to bring forth. You're able to really move through this doorway forward. And from there, it's this ripple effect out. The rings will grow as you grow. And you may have felt like you've been in this Bardo phase, this liminal phase, this in-between phase, a transition for a very long time. It's almost as if you can see all of the things from the past that have fallen away, that haven't worked, the trial and error process, everything. You can literally see it, but you can't see anything moving forward. And that's why this new moon is helping purify you, because you have shifted the wheel somehow. And it's going to be different for everybody, but you shifted the wheel. And so now you're able to move forward again. And I can feel this energy coming in through this new moon that puts you into a kind of worker bee energy, but not in a bad way. You're not going to be overworking yourself anymore. You're going to know the limits, the boundaries, this is as far as I can go, and then I'm done. And this is as far as I can go, and then I'm done. And then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, because you can work and work and work, but never actually take a moment to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And you're learning now to take a step back and to really enjoy it, to really experience it. And when you do that, you don't stay in those in-between phases for too long, but the in-between phases are the perfect time to be like, look at what I have done. Look at how far I have come. Look at what I have created. Look at all the work I've put into myself, into my life, into my future, into my career, into my path, into my family, my home, whatever it is for each one of you. In this liminal phase, take some time to feel that gratitude, to be gracious with yourself, to be aware of all of what you've done, and then forgive the past and cleanse it out, because this is now the time to do that. Fate and destiny is literally on your side right now, and you get to move forward in this essence of, I am moving from my passions, from what I want to do, from what I have to offer to the world. I love the Son of Cups energy. I always have, because I've never been the kind of person that perceives it as a romantic interest. I always see it as you getting in touch with that passionate energy within you for whatever it is in your life that you feel passionate about. It can be for another person, absolutely. But with the bee here, this feels a lot like what you're here doing. You're starting to feel more passion for what you do in your life. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, because the more that builds, the more that you purify the past and those things that have weighed you down in the past, the more you're able to see how beautiful what it is that you do truly is. There's this like amazing rainbow energy that I'm feeling. And I don't know what it is that you guys are doing, but I know that it is something that what it feels like energetically is this calming, peaceful happiness. Maybe that in essence is what you've been working on. That's what I can feel as the message from this new moon, is just let that in, because once you let that in, it just kind of is allowing for a purification and for you to really touch into the nectar of life, the joys of life, the happiness, it's kind of like the slow nature of life when the weather gets really hot on a summer day and you just sit down and have a ice cold drink of water and everything has just slowed down, but you just feel very content, very happy, very peaceful. You feel very much at ease. You feel as though you have really just made it to a place of harmony, of peace, of balance, of joy. And this new moon is helping purify all the things that have kept you from being able to see the growth of what you've planted, and move beyond the hardships into that joy, into that happiness, into that fruitful lifestyle. So water signs, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Your energy is always so wonderful to touch into, and I am always so honored. So thank you again. If this resonated, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, of course, so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. And thank you so much to Spirit for allowing me to sit here and share these messages with the collective of water signs. And I want to say thank you again one more time to you, viewer. Thank you so much. You're amazing, and I am honored to read your energy. And I will see you guys next time. Enjoy the new moon. Bye.